All right, back again for day 24 of the 100 horror films in 31 days. I did some mega watching yesterday. I got, first up, I watched the Hammer version of The Hound of the Baskervilles. This was 1959, I believe. Of course, it stars the great Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and they're one of the many films in the late 50s that formed their partnership. I bought this Arrow release, which was excellent. It's got a couple commentary tracks and a bunch of special features. You've got with most Arrow releases, you've got a booklet, overview of and then you've got a single disc in this one, and some reversible cover art. I love this movie. Some people give it crap because of the dog at the end. It's pretty lame looking, but actually looking at it now, I used to think that some of the times I watched it, but the dog wasn't that bad, and the build up to it was great. I also have this old MGM release, which has no special features. I would say that's a 7 out of 10. Peter Cushing does a very admirable Sherlock Holmes in that one. Next up, probably my best viewing of the month so far. One of my best first-time viewings of the month, one of them anyway, would be Baskin. This is a Turkish production in 2015. That the storyline is you've got a group of cops that are called out on a backup call to a house, and once they enter the house, they've entered hell. To sum it up in one word, they've entered just a whole new world of hell. I love the movie. It was made for I think $350,000 US, but it looks magnificent. And it, to me, is a throwback to the Clive Barker films of the 80s, particularly Hellraiser. I think that final act is a nightmarish vision that kind of pays a homage to Grand Guignol theater, the French Grand Guignol theater. It's just a series of sexual and erotic and nightmarish visions, horrible images that you see at the end that you're not clear whether it's real or a nightmare, and I think that's the point of the film. There's a guy in this that plays the father of this, what appears to be a cult, a nightmarish cult living at this house, that he's just incredible. Apparently he's a parking lot attendant in Turkey somewhere. It was his only film. But he's got a great look about him, and I just think this was a great first effort by this director. There's a commentary track on it that we'll definitely have to check out in a making of. Love the movie, though. This is going to be one of those films that I think will divide audiences. You're either going to love it or hate it. I don't think there's a whole lot in between. But I'm in the love camp, so I gave this a 9 out of 10. Next up is a movie that I'm not sure what to think about it, and that is Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Osborne, The Strange Case. The director, Valerian Borosnik, I believe is how you pronounce it, Borosnik, is a Polish director who directed some really strange art house movies called The Beast. One of them is The Beast. And he's got some really strange sexual fetish stuff in those movies, and this one's not much different. This film stars Udo Kier as Dr. Jekyll. And in this film, Hyde is played by an entirely different individual. But I don't think it distracts from the film. I think I'm in the like it camp. I think it's one of these that's going to have to be watched multiple times because it's kind of a surreal, image of and vision of the Jekyll Hyde mythos. It was filmed in France in 1983, I believe. And it's got an art house, very soft. The picture is very soft, almost through a mystical, kind of giving you a mystical, almost surreal imagery to this film. A lot of people may think it's slow, and I guess in some respects it is slow, but it is an art house interpretation of the Jekyll and Hyde mythos. Nice booklet as usual with Arrow, and pretty detailed discussion of the film. If this is one of those, it's gonna have to have repeat viewings just to get your arms around it, I think. But as of today, having watched it yesterday, I'm in the camp of, yeah, it's cool. 2-disc. Oodles of special features. I did watch the interview with Udo Kier. Every time they interview Udo Kier, he looks like he's in some coffee house or some bar, drinking and smoking. I don't know why that is. Everyone I see, they usually catch him somewhere in a strange place. Then I watched the Arrow release of Dark Water. Now, this film was directed by a Japanese production, I believe 2012, by the director of The Ring and the sequel, The Ring. It's kind of along the themes of the dead wet girl theme, and that's what you've got here. Is a lot of symbolism of a girl that at some point died. You see a lot of water in the walls, water on the floor. This mother who's divorced and her daughter live in this apartment building, and they're having these nightmarish visions of water and death. And then it comes to an interesting conclusion. Very beautiful cinematography, and the music in this is just superb. I love the music in this. 7 out of 10. If you like The Ring, I don't know. This is not as. This is, to me, more of a. It is a horror movie, but to me it's more of a look at a mother-daughter relationship from a failed marriage, and how they struggle to make it under difficult circumstances. You got another great booklet. So yeah, this is another dead wet girl mythology. 2 discs. I would say 7 out of 10. This is another one, though, that I think is going to require a repeat viewing to get the full interpretation of it. Next up, like I said, I watched a lot yesterday. Is 88 Films' fantastic Burial Ground. Wow, I'm not sure where to begin, other than I'm embarrassed to say that I've never seen this movie till yesterday. This is an Italian zombie movie that is just it's so off the wall. It defies description. It is a nonstop assault on your senses. You just got to see it to believe it. This has a Grindhouse edition, which was from the 35 millimeter original negative, and I love the look of that thing. It's just like being at the drive-in or seeing it with all its flaws. There's a commentary track with Callum Waddle on it, interviews, which I'll go through probably in November. Absolutely, I'm going to go through it in November. I love the movie. 8 out of 10. Another 8 out of 10. So I had some great viewing yesterday. I can't believe I've never seen this before. But this movie takes a page and then out of Lucio Fulci's book and just runs with it. It really does. It's an incredible movie. Great 1980 zombie film. Highly recommended. And this 88 Films release is awesome. And then I finished up the day with an even better, if that's possible, an even better movie, 1983's Angst, which I've been eager to see, this German-Austrian production from 1983. it's the best look at the internal workings of a serial killer that I can think of. And I think the only other one that I can think of that kind of comes close will be Shram, and then Port Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. But I think this is the number one. This tops them all. The imagery and the acting is incredible. It's this is another one you got to see it to believe it. There's the alternate. I've switched the artwork. Angst. If you haven't seen this, you need to see it. This is a thick book. Damn. Very thick book. This movie was banned, and I can see why, for a long time. It wasn't clear that it was ever going to see the light of day. Actually, there's no. I thought there's some insert alternative artwork, but apparently there's not. 9 out of 10. Fantastic and just gut punch of a serial killer movie. I mean, you really feel like you're not watching a movie. You feel like you're watching events unfold in front of you in the most realistic kind of documentary. It's got that feel, the same feel, this matter of fact documentary feel that Jörg Bucharest's films have. In fact, there's an interview with the director by Jörg Bucharest, which I've not partaken of yet, but I will. But it's a great movie, well worth the investment. I think you can pick it up for $20-25. So that's it for day 24, and I appreciate you watching. I'll be back for day 25. Thanks.